Let me share something with you today that might change your entire perspective on life. You know, I've spent years studying success and human behavior, and I've discovered something fascinating about pain that most people never understand. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain. They run from it. They hide from it. They complain about it. But here's what's interesting. While they're busy complaining about their pain, someone else is using that same pain to build an empire. Now, isn't that fascinating? Same pain, different results. You see, pain is not your enemy. Pain is one of your greatest allies in this journey called life, but you've got to understand it. You've got to learn to read it. You've got to learn to use it. Let me tell you something that changed my life. When I was struggling in my early days, barely making ends meet, I used to complain about everything. I complained about not having enough money. I complained about working too hard. I complained about my circumstances, and you know what all that complaining got me? More things to complain about. Here's what I learned. Complaining is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Now, isn't that interesting? We spend so much time complaining about our pain that we miss the lesson it's trying to teach us. You see, pain is a signal. It's not a stop sign. It's a signal. When you feel physical pain, it's your body telling you something needs attention. When you feel emotional pain, it's your life telling you something needs to change. The pain itself isn't the problem. It's what you do with it that matters. Let me give you a few examples. You know what happens when you work out at the gym? You feel pain, but that pain is building your muscles. You know what happens when you study hard? Your brain hurts, but that pain is building your knowledge. You know what happens when you push through your fears? You feel uncomfortable, but that pain is building your courage. The problem isn't the pain. The problem is our interpretation of pain. We've been conditioned to believe that pain is bad. That pain should be avoided at all costs. But what if I told you that pain is one of your greatest teachers? Think about this. Every major breakthrough in your life probably came after a period of Every significant achievement probably required you to push through some discomfort. Every valuable lesson probably came with a cost. You see, life is not about avoiding pain. It's about understanding how to use it. It's about learning to enjoy the process of growth, even when that process is uncomfortable. Because here's what's interesting. The pain you feel today is developing the strength you'll need tomorrow. Let me share something I learned from my mentor. He told me, Jim, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more wisdom. Now, isn't that profound? You see, when you're busy complaining about your pain, you're actually resisting the very thing that could make you stronger. It's like going to the gym and complaining that the weights are heavy. Of course they're heavy. That's what makes you stronger. Here's another interesting thing about pain. It's temporary. But the strength you develop through pain, that's permanent. The wisdom you gain through difficulties, that's yours to keep. The character you build through challenges, that becomes part of who you are. Now, let me ask you something. What if you started looking at your pain differently? What if, instead of complaining about it, you started asking, what's this pain trying to teach me? What strength is it trying to develop in me? What wisdom is it trying to show me? You see, the quality of your life isn't determined by the absence of pain. It's determined by your response to pain. Some people feel pain and become bitter. Others feel the same pain and become better. The pain is the same. The response makes all the difference. Let me tell you about two types of people I've observed over the years. The first type feels pain and says, why me? This isn't fair. Life is so hard. The second type feels pain and says, it's interesting. This is an opportunity. This is a chance to grow. Now, here's what's fascinating. Both types of people will experience pain. That's just part of life. But the first type will suffer twice, once from the pain itself and again from their resistance to it. The second type will transform their pain into power. You've got to understand something fundamental about success. It's not about avoiding difficulties. It's about learning to enjoy the process of overcoming them. It's about developing the ability to find pleasure in the pursuit of your potential. Think about a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. That process is painful. It's a struggle. But that struggle is essential. It's what gives the butterfly the strength it needs to fly. If you try to help it by cutting open the cocoon, you'll actually prevent it from developing the strength it needs. The same is true in your life. The struggles you're facing right now, they're not there to stop you, they're there to strengthen you. The challenges you're dealing with, they're not there to break you, they're there to make you. But here's the key, you've got to stop complaining about them. Because every time you complain, you're actually resisting the very process that's trying to help you grow. Every time you whine about your circumstances, you're actually pushing away the opportunity for advancement. Let me share something powerful with you. Pain has purpose. Every pain in your life is trying to teach you something. Financial pain, it's teaching you about money management. Relationship pain, it's teaching you about human nature. Physical pain, it's teaching you about self-care. But you can't learn these lessons if you're too busy complaining about the teacher. You can't receive the wisdom if you're too focused on the discomfort. You can't grow stronger if you're constantly resisting the very thing that's trying to strengthen you. Here's another interesting thing about pain. It's universal. Everyone experiences it. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people isn't the presence or absence of pain, it's their response to it. Successful people have learned to enjoy the pain of growth. They've learned to find pleasure in the process of progress. They understand that discomfort is the price of development. That struggle is the cost of strength. That pain is the prerequisite for power. Now, I'm not saying you should seek out pain unnecessarily. I'm not suggesting you should suffer needlessly. What I am saying is that when pain comes, and it will come, you have a choice in how you respond to it. You can complain about it, or you can learn from it. You can resist it, or you can use it. You can let it break you, or you can let it make you. The pain will be the same, but your choice will determine your outcome. Let me tell you something else about pain. It's an excellent teacher of priorities. Nothing will help you clarify what's truly important in your life quite like pain will. Nothing will help you distinguish between what you want and what you need quite like difficulty will. You see, pain has a way of stripping away the non-essential. It has a way of helping you focus on what truly matters. When you're going through something difficult, you quickly learn what's worth fighting for and what's worth letting go. But here's what's interesting. Most people miss these lessons because they're too busy complaining about their circumstances. They're so focused on their discomfort that they miss the message. They're so concerned with their pain that they miss the purpose. Let me share something I learned from experience. The level of success you achieve will be in direct proportion to the amount of pain you're willing to endure. Not the amount of pain you have to endure, the amount of pain you're willing to endure. You see, success doesn't come to those who avoid pain, it comes to those who learn to enjoy the pain of growth. It doesn't come to those who complain about their circumstances, it comes to those who use their circumstances as stepping stones to something better. Think about this, every skill you've ever developed came through some form of pain. Learning to walk, painful. Learning to read, painful. Learning to ride a bike, painful. But where would you be if you had avoided all those painful experiences? The same principle applies to your future success. The skills you need to develop, the knowledge you need to acquire, the strength you need to build, they'll all come through some form of pain. The question isn't whether you'll experience pain, the question is what you'll do with it. Here's another fascinating thing about pain. It's a great equalizer. Rich or poor, educated or uneducated, young or old, everyone experiences pain. But while some people let their pain define them, others let their pain refine them. You've got to understand something. Pain is not your enemy. Resistance to pain is your enemy. Complaining about pain is your enemy. The belief that life should be easy is your enemy. Life isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. Life is challenging, and that's what makes it interesting. Life is difficult, and that's what makes it worth living. The challenges you face, the obstacles you overcome, the pain you endure, these are what give your life meaning and depth. Let me tell you about something I observed. The people who achieve the most in life aren't the ones who experience the least pain. They're the ones who learn to enjoy the pain of growth. They're the ones who learn to find pleasure in the process of progress. Think about an athlete training for the Olympics. Do they complain about their pain? No, they embrace it. They understand that their pain is not their pain enemy, it's their ally. They know that their discomfort is not their opponent, it's their opportunity. The same principle applies to your life. The pain you're experiencing right now, it's not your enemy, it's your ally. The difficulties you're facing, they're not your opponents, they're your opportunities. The challenges you're dealing with, they're not there to break you, they're there to make you. But here's the key, you've got to stop complaining about them. Because every time you complain, you're actually pushing away your opportunity for growth. Every time you whine about your circumstances, you're actually resisting your chance for advancement. Let me share something profound with you. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain will come, that's just part of life. But suffering, that comes from your resistance to pain. That comes from your complaints about pain. That comes from your belief that pain is bad. What if you started looking at pain differently? What if you started seeing it not as something to avoid, but as something to understand? Not as something to resist, but as something to use. Not as something that's happening to you, but as something that's happening for you. You see, the quality of your life isn't determined by the absence of pain. It's determined by your relationship with pain. It's determined by your ability to find meaning in your struggles, to find purpose in your difficulties, to find opportunity in your challenges. And here's what's fascinating. When you learn to enjoy the pain of growth, when you learn to find pleasure in the process of progress, something remarkable happens. The pain doesn't disappear, but your suffering does. The challenges don't vanish, but your complaints do. Because now you understand that pain isn't your enemy, it's your ally. Now you understand that difficulty isn't your opponent, it's your opportunity. Now you understand that challenges aren't there to break you, they're there to make you. So let me ask you something. What are you going to do with your pain? Are you going to complain about it? Or are you going to learn from it? Or are you going to resist it? Or are you going to use it? Are you going to let it break you? Or are you going to make you? The choice is yours. The pain will be the same, but your choice will determine your outcome. Your pain will be the same, but your response will determine your results. Remember this, life is not about avoiding pain, it's about understanding how to use it. It's not about finding the easy path, it's about developing the strength to walk the difficult path. It's not about having fewer problems, it's about developing greater wisdom. So stop complaining about your pain. Start enjoying the process of growth. Start finding pleasure in the pursuit of your potential. Because that's where true success lies, not in the absence of pain, but in your ability to use pain as a stepping stone to something greater. That's the secret successful people have discovered. That's the wisdom they've embraced. That's the truth they've learned to live by. And now it's your turn. Now it's your time. Now it's your opportunity to transform your pain into power, your difficulties into determination, your challenges into chances for growth. The pain won't disappear, but your perspective can change. The challenges won't vanish, but your capacity can grow. The difficulties won't end, but your development can continue. So embrace your pain, learn from it, grow through it, because that's what successful people do. That's what winners do. That's what leaders do. And that's what you can do too, starting today, starting now, starting with your very next challenge. Remember, don't complain about your pain, enjoy it. Because in that enjoyment, in that acceptance, in that understanding lies the seed of your future success, the root of your future strength, the foundation of your future achievements. That's the message. That's the wisdom. That's the truth that can transform your life if you're willing to embrace it, if you're ready to live it, if you're prepared to make it your own. The choice is yours. The time is now. The opportunity is here. What will you do with it? Let me share something else with you, Sin Chao. Sensible. You know what's fascinating? The moment you decide to stop complaining about your pain, something remarkable happens in your brain. Your neural pathways actually begin to reorganize themselves. You see, for years I've studied how successful people think differently about their challenges. And here's what I discovered. They've trained their minds to associate pain with progress. Now, isn't that interesting? While most people associate pain with punishment, successful people associate it with growth. Let me give you a personal example. When I was first starting out in business, I was terrible at public speaking. Absolutely terrible. The pain of standing in front of people was almost unbearable. My heart would race, my palms would sweat, my mind would go blank. Now, I could have done what most people do, complained about it, avoided it, made excuses. But instead, I decided to enjoy that pain. I decided to embrace that discomfort. And you know what happened? The more I embraced it, the more I grew. The more I enjoyed the challenge, the better I became. Here's another fascinating thing about pain. It's an incredible filter for determining what's truly important in your life. You see, people will complain about anything that's mildly inconvenient, but they'll endure tremendous pain for something they truly value. Think about that for a moment. A person will complain about having to wake up early for a job they hate, but they'll gladly wake up at 4 a.m. for hunting or pursue something they love. Isn't that interesting? Same pain, different meaning. Let me share with you what I call the pain principle. It goes like this: the level of pain you're willing to endure for something is directly proportional to how much you value it. Now, isn't that fascinating? You see, when you understand this principle, you stop asking, how can I avoid pain? And start asking what pain is worth enduring. That's a completely different question that leads to completely different results. Here's another thing about pain that most people never realize. Pain is one of the fastest ways to develop discipline. You know why? Because pain demands your attention. It demands your focus. It demands your respect. When you're going through something painful, you can't be lazy. You can't be casual. You can't be half-hearted. Pain requires your full attention, your complete commitment, your absolute best. And that's exactly what makes it such a powerful teacher. Pain doesn't accept excuses. Pain doesn't tolerate mediocrity. Pain doesn't allow you to stay in your comfort zone. Let me tell you something else about pain that might change your perspective forever. Pain is one of the few things in life that you can absolutely count on, to be honest with you. Pain never lies. Pain never flatters. Pain never sugarcoats the truth. When something's wrong in your life, pain will let you know. When you're heading in the wrong direction, pain will tell you. When you're making poor choices, pain will inform you. But here's the key. You've got to stop complaining long enough to listen to what your pain is trying to tell you. You've got to stop whining long enough to hear the wisdom in your wounds. You know what's interesting? Most people spend more time complaining about their pain than they do trying to understand it. They spend more energy resisting their challenges than they do learning from them. Let me share with you what I call the 3 levels of pain response. The first level is where most people live. They complain about their pain. The second level is where some people reach. They endure their pain. But the third level, where the truly successful operate, they enjoy their pain. Now, when I say enjoy, I don't mean they're masochists. I mean they've learned to appreciate the growth that pain brings. They've learned to value the strength that challenges develop. They've learned to respect the wisdom that difficulties deliver. Think about this. Every significant achievement in human history came through pain. Every major breakthrough, every important discovery, every meaningful advancement, they all came through some form of pain. The Wright brothers didn't complain about their failed attempts at flight. They enjoyed the process of solving the problem. Thomas Edison didn't whine about his thousands of unsuccessful attempts at creating the light bulb. He enjoyed the journey of discovery. You see, these people understood something that most never grasp. Pain is not the opposite of pleasure. It's often the price of progress. Pain is not the enemy of success. It's often the evidence of growth. Let me share something else with you. Pain has a wonderful way of revealing your true priorities. When something's painful, you quickly discover how much you really want it. When something's difficult, you rapidly realize how committed you truly are. That's why I say pain is one of life's greatest truth tellers. It shows you what you really value, what you truly believe, what you actually want. Not what you say you want, but what you're willing to endure pain to achieve. And here's another fascinating aspect of pain. It's one of the few things in life that you can't fake. You can fake enthusiasm, you can fake interest, you can fake commitment, but you can't fake your response to pain. When you're going through something painful, your true character is revealed, your real values are exposed, your authentic priorities are unveiled. That's why I often tell people, don't tell me what you want, show me what pain you're willing to endure. Don't tell me about your goals. Show me what difficulties you're willing to embrace. Don't tell me about your dreams. Show me what challenges you're willing to enjoy. Because that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where talk turns into truth. That's where wishes become reality. Let me share with you what I call the pain paradox. The more you try to avoid pain, the more you suffer. The more you embrace pain, the more you grow. The more you complain about pain, the weaker you become. The more you enjoy pain, the stronger you get. Isn't that fascinating? The very thing most people spend their lives trying to avoid is often the very thing they need to embrace. The very thing they complain about is often the very thing they need to enjoy. You see, life has a wonderful way of using pain to point us in the direction of growth. But most people are so busy complaining about the pointer that they miss the direction it's indicating. Let me tell you something else about pain that might change your life. Pain is often life's way of preparing you for something bigger. The pain you're experiencing today might be developing the strength you'll need tomorrow. Think about it. Before a rocket can break free from Earth's gravity, it has to endure tremendous pressure. Before a butterfly can emerge from its cocoon, it has to struggle. Before a diamond can be formed, it has to endure incredible heat and pressure. The same is true in your life. The pain you're experiencing, the challenges you're facing, the difficulties you're enduring, they're not there to break you. They're there to make you. They're not there to stop you. They're there to strengthen you. But here's the key. You've got to stop complaining about them long enough to understand their purpose. You've got to stop whining about them long enough to recognize their potential. Because here's what's fascinating. The very pain you're complaining about today might be preparing you for an opportunity you can't even imagine yet. The very challenge you're resisting might be developing the strength you'll need for a future breakthrough. That's why I say don't complain about your pain. Enjoy it. Don't resist your challenges. Embrace them. Don't fight your difficulties. Learn from them. Because in the end, it's not about avoiding pain. It's about using it. It's not about escaping challenges. It's about growing through them. It's not about finding an easy path. It's about becoming strong enough for the path that leads to your dreams. Remember, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Challenges are unavoidable, but growth is voluntary. Difficulties will come, but your response to them is always your choice. Choose wisely. Choose growth. Choose strength. Choose enjoy your pain.